Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Gum MVP back with my 5th video. Don't really have a big theme in this video. I was just doing some PvP over the last couple days and was recording, of course. And just decided to throw this video together real quick. And because of that, I guess I don't have a ton I wanted to narrate on. Um, there was a big patch that just hit, and oh my gosh, so many things got changed. Um, just off the top of my head, the Kestis, which was like, you saw me in my previous videos putting in work with the Kestis. It was just like the parry tool that everyone used. It had a stigma to it, it was cheap. It didn't require a lot of skill because it had such an early startup and was just like you could cancel out of that thing by like frame 18. So like Kestis was sick. Um, but not everything lasts, so this patch came through and it hit pretty good. It took care of a lot of things, one of which you're not going to really see me do it a lot in this video. I'm actually currently working on a miracle build, like a faith build on the side, but spells are actually surprisingly effective now with increased spell casting speed. Um, Now, there's one that I really wanted to note, which was Wrath of the Gods. Wrath of the Gods, in the 5 videos that you've seen me throw together, I don't think we've seen Wrath of the Gods, Push, or any of those miracles one time. Um, I don't particularly think that Wrath of the Gods is very good in this game. I think that it needs to be quicker. I think that it was super good in Dark Souls 2 because came out so quick if I recall correctly, but Wrath of the God just doesn't come out quick enough, so you're never gonna hit someone with it, someone who knows what they're doing. And honestly, Pontiffs, which I have a lot of issues with as the primary PvP zone, it's too hard to hit them with things like Lightning Stake or Lightning Storm or Wrath of the Gods, because look at how wide Pontiffs is. If you're looking at the arena right now, you're seeing my guy run around with my halberd. This guy has all the room in the world to roll away and just run away and, like, have me chase him down. Because look at how wide this area is. I think it's one of the negative parts about this area as, like, a primary part for PvP. But I try to PvP elsewhere, and sometimes I'll have little bits of frame dips, which is probably due to my PC. And then a lot of times it's not, a lot of people aren't always PvPing in the good places, right? So like high wall or like the high tower, you know, like that PvP area is great on top of that tower. And you see me using it, I think once in this video, but I do PvP there quite a bit because it's a smaller arena, kind of like the Undead Burg in Dark Souls 1. And just look at how wide Pontiffs is. There's always room to get away. This is actually kind of an interesting comeback I make here, just because of the red tilted halberd R1 spam that I just did right there. I don't condone that, and I could have died, but I guess I kind of went for big deeps. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't want to rant too much about Pontiffs. It's just like I'm getting kind of sick of it. It's pretty much the only place that you get to get good duels in, and say you don't want to do duels and you want to do invasions. None of the areas in the game are really fun for invasions, especially considering everyone's co-oping. It's really annoying to run through like the Farron Swamp, Crucifixion Bonfire. Crucifixion Woods Bonfire has like decent invasions, but again, I don't really love the area too much. So you'll really just see me doing duels here at Pontiffs. And I'm not here at Pontiffs because I enjoy the arena. I'm here just because there's a ton of people here. Like, I hate the fact that my opponent can basically run away and turtle forever, and I just have to forever chase. I think that gets old after a while. It's just such a big arena that you can't really punish a lot of things unless your opponent's, like, actively trying to fight you. Which is nice. In these videos when I make them, a lot of times I'll cut out, bits. Ooh, that was pretty good. Okay. This is kind of an interesting duel, but I'll cut out the parts that don't make it, the parts that the fights that the the dude was running around for like 5 minutes running in circles, and I'm just standing there looking at him like, what kind of content is this, you know? But alas, I'm not really sure. This is a bit of an interesting fight here. Just the way this guy chooses to open up with his hyper armor. I think that's something that they changed in the patch notes with this Onakiri Ubadachi katana, which is not a very popular one, and I think the reason it wasn't very popular, and trust me, I used one for quite a while at the game launch. I actually have one plus 10 still, but you know, there was just better katanas. You know, you think about the washing pole, running attack, etc. But this katana in particular had a weapon art that wasn't very good. It's that lunging attack, and you know what the primary problem with it was, and you saw it in some of my earlier videos. I had my red tilted halberd out, and the guy would jump in the air and lunge at me, and I would just go poke, poke, poke. The problem with it was that it had no hyper armor. So you see it for the first time in this video if you haven't caught in the patch notes yet. But yeah, so some hyper armor was applied there, and I took some damage, and it kind of shook me a little bit. I couldn't really get my footing back. You see me just kind of swinging blindly a bit here, and he's putting on some decent damage. But the thing is when I know I have damage output, like I know I have a decent AR with this Twin Prince's Greysword, like I still can be pretty confident, especially with this health that I have right now. And just a couple more R1 swings to knock him down. I think, so I have been using a little bit, and you've seen it in the video, that giant shield on my back right there, the Black Knight shield. I've been using it a lot, and what I like about it is I can weapon art because it has no art itself as a shield. It can't parry, it can't bash, it can't do anything. So the weapon art of your main-handed weapon will actually override whatever is in your left hand. So this is, in this occasion, I can actually weapon art without having to have my weapon two-handed, which a lot of times, say you want to use the weapon art of your hand and the weapon in your right hand, you're gonna have to two-hand it, and then you can use the weapon art. So here, I can be turtling behind my shield and proc my laser attack, which is actually really nice because at one moment my stance looks defensive, and then another moment I'm putting out a hitbox, which does a decent amount of damage. GG, guy. So yeah, you've seen that sword before, but definitely one of my trickier weapons, especially with a combination of the Black Knight shield. But yeah, so soon though, I need to break out of my comfort zone again, and I'm gonna really work on my small shield parries. Again, so I mentioned the Kestis got nerfed. Well, the Kestis' parry frames got changed a bit, and now all of a sudden I can't cheese my parries. And here you see me using the Black Knight shield, so I'm blocking everything, and I'm coming in close a little more comfortably. But I can't parry, you know, unless I switch offhand like Kestis again or something. Because the Kestis is still good, but, you know. And here's a really strange fight I have. I don't know if there was like a bit of lag or what the thing is, but when I'm looking down these mannequin hand claws, I know that I just need to keep pushing that R1 button with this halberd, because I'm always going to be able to trade this out. I should be able to push through it, you know, which I'm aware of, and then I should be able to out DPS it. And he's so laggy that the halberd's actually a really nice weapon for me to be able to push that R1 and feel safe, because I know it's coming out with some decent hyper armor, and it's coming out right in front of my character. So that's kind of how I've been dealing with those mannequin claws. But yeah, so we'll see. I've also been goofing off a little bit with the Lucerne, but I'm not really able to combo with it like I used to. I think they changed a few things, so I haven't really been using too much of the Lucerne or the Black Knight Glaive, to be honest. I've been using a ton of the Twin Prince's Greysword, and just been having a fun time, I guess, approaching the game from a different angle, not so much from one like this. This was interesting because I watched him have this whole duel, and then he just kind of walks into a couple of these. Yeah, so that's a quick one. That was a quick one. But I don't know, man. I think the state of the game is not dry at all because this new patch just really re-sparked the fuel for a lot of the people that were turned away by things like lack of presence, lack of miracles, lack of spells, lack of overall presence from the magical side of the game. And there was honestly a really strong presence in the Great Sword and in the Straight Sword categories. Now, the next part about the patch I wanted to talk about was, I believe they nerfed the running attack speed of certain weapons, certain katanas, and they nerfed the running attack speed of the running R1s and the continuous R1s of like some like the rapier and stuff like that, or maybe it's the S stock. But I can't tell you how many times you're fighting someone and you'll be fighting their S stock and they'll just keep pushing that R1 button and you'll get hit by the third time and you question like, why did I just get hit? So you should always be able to roll backwards. But thrusting weapons were pretty strong. Honestly, so were straight swords. So hopefully this nerf kind of changes the weapon diversity up a little bit, brings a bit more variety into the game that I think we could all need. Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of an interesting duel. A lot of times I'll just put out that R1 hitbox with the halberd, and I really couldn't catch him. He was being respectful of my distance, I would say. But anyways, so I'm going to swap over to this build now, which this is my quality luck build. So here's kind of funny, I showed him my back. I mean, this guy can wear whatever he wants. I'm probably just going to bleed through it. Or make him bleed through it. But I don't really know what build this guy's going for. I know that I'm just going to keep swinging. I haven't really used this character much lately, so kind of breaking him in here in this VOD. What I started using more and more was just extending my character out with the L2, with like the weapon art and the full R2 combo after it. Now the thing is it definitely has some lag, and it's either this duel or the next. I want to say it's the next one, but I commit a little too heavy, and you see the appropriate punish for it. I believe it's the next video because it is like another Karthus Curve Sword. But so I'll do this combo on him. Ooh, that was pretty sick bleed. But okay, so I'll do, R1, so I'll swing and I'll put out the hitbox, say I miss. Well, I want to keep pushing forward because it's not exactly what my opponent would suspect because my first hit didn't connect. So I'll do L2, R2, and oh, this is not the duel for it. This guy was so free, and I don't know what the heck he was doing. I think this build might be decent against another weapon. The problem is, it's just I don't know how I'd ever lose to that on this weapon or my halberd. that was kind of whatever. Okay, but anyways, so I push myself forward with my weapon art, and I usually don't get punished. I usually run the chance to connect like some sort of bleed with them, especially when I'm running Karthus Rouge. But I believe I'm about to do it. But when I put myself out there, I'm exposing myself to a punish because there is a touch of ending lag. You can't just roll back right away. So even though you've seen me catch it a few times, like right there, I missed the R1, and he didn't think I'd keep pushing, and I kept pushing forward, and then I spun twice, like boom, boom, and I finally connected it, and I made him bleed right there at the end. So I think it is very good. It's just that you can't just throw it out, especially if someone's playing footsies and kind of boxing you out a little bit. It's not going to be a free punish. Or it is going to be a free punish for them. Sorry. Yeah. So this guy was playing very smart. Probably one of the smartest guys I played all night with this build. Played quite a few matches. But when I have... Oh, here's... yeah, so there's a big whiff, and I whiffed the first one, but I just kind of kept swinging. But when I have Karthus Rouge on, and I'm increasing the, my blood chance and things like that, you really don't want to let me just sit with that buff on. So dual charms are a great way to counteract that. And you guys see me throw dual charms all the time. I probably threw like 5 or more in this video alone. I think if I'm playing unbuffed, and I'm going against someone who's buffing their weapon, I think that I'm significantly at a disadvantage. And I think that if I'm in a duel, it should be it should definitely not be expected that I'll play on the same level as you, but I'm not just gonna give you a free advantage. Um, Plus, I have to connect the dual charm, so I think it's completely fine, and I think it's fine what he did here to dual charm me. But of course, I definitely want the Karthus Rouge, so I'm not afraid to buff it in the middle of the fight. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. That's all the footage I have, so thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.